Okay, let's move to the third presentation. I would like Mr. Yoshito Okada from ITOCHU Corporation from Argentina to present a very interesting issue, because Japanese companies' productivity is always a mystery, and you will have this opportunity to see how they made it. Mr. Okada, the floor is yours.
I'm from Argentina, but I'm not Argentine. I'm Japanese. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Okada, General Manager of ITOCHU Argentina, Japanese trading house. I'm a business person, not a professor. So my speech might be very easy, without any complicated concept, no difficult tables. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation to invite me to this conference, especially grandson. She's my friend. And I'm very happy to come here 2 years after I left here for Argentina. I spent 5 years here. The theme of the session is CSR, but my theme is rather belongs to third block, like a corporate culture and the values. Anyhow, my presentation was allocated to block 2, so please allow me not to refer to CSR, okay? What I want to highlight here is a kind of mindset shared by Japanese, which I felt in my 35 years career as a Japanese business person. I am not a professor. I'm not a teacher, and I'm not teaching anything but doing business. I will talk again in easy words with some photos, nothing complicated, and sorry to say, not academic, not scientific. So please be relaxed, please. And at least I hope my information might be meaningful. The title is about joint responsibility, how Japanese becomes more productive as a team. To be honest, the word joint responsibility reminded me of some kind of bitterness, because in my school days, teacher always scolded us. Somebody made a mistake, all of you should be punished like that. However, I can say that in Japanese organization, joint responsibility can function in a both way, positive and negative. From now on, I want to explain how it works in a both way by showing some examples. This is a photo when I was in Warsaw. I was the chairman of the first Japan festival held in Warsaw. At that time, I was the chairman, but we decided to introduce several new contents to the festivals. This is the new content. We call it takoyaki. This is a typical Japanese snacks. And many Japanese and Polish joined in to run this shop in a festival as a volunteer. To cook takoyaki, there are more than 10 processes. It seems simple, but quite complicated to cook. And each process was allocated to each member. And finally, it was a great success. Many Polish people enjoyed it. After the festival, takoyaki team leader told me all members carried out their jobs. At the same time, all members paid attention to other processes. And if they found some problems, they supported and covered each other. Finally, the team functioned like a one body. Beyond having united, beyond integrated. He says one body. when some part of the body is injured, he says, you care it, right? You don't leave it as it is. It is meaning that it becomes one body. When Japanese organize a team, they seem to feel a responsibility not only for the given job, but also the team's success. When joint responsibility is shared by all members, it functions like a bonding material to make a team into one body. Today I'd like to show some example from sports, not my business. Because if I introduce some example from my business, it will be the problem about the corporate governance. Okay? The first is women's speed skating in Olympics. Completely no relation. This slide shows shows the results of women's speed skating in Social Olympic in 2014. You see. Netherlands is very strong, and there's no name about the Japan. Japan got nothing in that Olympic. But how about the next Olympic? Here, still, Netherlands is quite strong, but Japan needs something new to get this result. What they did, of course, some excellent skater train so hard and they got medals, but that does not explain everything. Especially team skating, we call it fastest racing. Okay, this is fastest skating. Yes, it is not popular, but in Japan it is quite popular because these teams got a gold medal, although they are not the great skater. Okay. Fastest racing is, let's say, 2,400 meters by 3 skaters in team, and the time is from the start to the goal of the last skater, not the first skater. This is the point. So let's see what happened in this race. This is the record of the, how can I say, individual race, 3,000 meters. You see, in that race, top 3 are Holland or Netherlands, and Japan's are 5th, 8th, and 19th. It sounds so ridiculous to compete with Netherlands, even though it is a team. But in fact, this is the result of the team. Japan defeated the Netherlands. Sorry. Japan defeated the Netherlands, although there is a big difference in personal, how can I say, capability. They could achieve what they could not do as individuals. How they could fill up the unfillable competitiveness by group. This is the point. Again, takoyaki. I think they did the same as takoyaki. According to the newspaper, they lived together 300 days for joint training, 300 days per year. During 300 days, the team member tried to understand how other member skates, how other move their legs and bodies, and when and how others are tired, and who has better skate in the first position longer. Because first position, I can say, the skater is getting tired. I suppose the team could foster the feeling of joint responsibility for the team's success. And finally, this team became like one body. Again, this fight. This is a result of the joint training for 300 days. You see, these they are really skating like one body. Next one is, this is the result of, if joint responsibility is not shared by all members, the result is miserable. If you do not care your injured parts, right, that injury will seriously damage all your bodies. So we have to care. We have to care the injured part by ourselves, by all of us. Then, to be fair, I have to refer to the dark side of the joint responsibility among Japanese. I show you two examples. One is a bit curious. It is called human pyramid. It can be seen in a lot of schools. Many school teachers like this performance to educate students, to let them foster the, let's say, mindset of joint responsibility for the team's success. You can see most of the Japanese school. And teachers want to perform better than previous year. Then human pyramid has been getting higher and higher and higher. And finally, what happened? Fell down. And several students were seriously injured. For several years, such kind of danger has been discussed widely and publicly. As a result, number of such incidents were reduced dramatically, but still, the number of incidents were around 4,000 per year. 4,000, not small. When I was a schoolboy, the human pyramid was like that. But nowadays, human pyramid is so high. Yeah. For me, it's like something like a teachers control by the positive side of a joint responsibility, and they close their eyes to the negative side. Yeah. Second, this is called ekiden. Yeah, ekiden is the, I can say, pure sports for joint responsibility. All for one, one for all. But if you fail, all will fail. This is a joint responsibility. Last year, one woman ekiden took place in Japan. In the race, one lady runner was injured about 100 meters before the next runner. And she could not run, and she could not walk, and even she could not stand up. In such case, the runner usually stop the race, and she will stop the pass the baton to the next runner. But if one runner stop, all will be lost. Then what she did, I think it is quite surprising. She crawled about 100 meters from the point to the, how can I say, area to hand over the baton. Of course, no one forced her to crawl to the next runner. She decided by herself to hand over the baton. Maybe she felt strongly that she must not do wrong to the team. Finally, team could reach the goal, but she had to spend several months for her recovery. It is also other side of joint responsibility. Same as human pyramid, joint responsibility forces team members unreasonable things. No. This is quite Japanese. Looking at my life, we call it, how can I say, lineup as arm's length in a kindergarten. I explained so many times. Yeah. I've been getting accustomed to behaving as a Japanese good team member since I was in kindergarten. I seem to accept both sides of joint responsibility, so naturally, unconsciously, without any sense of contradiction. I do not say good or bad now, but this is my experience. Finally, I would like to take up one more example for positive side. Maybe everybody knows the center is Usain Bolt, the fastest runner in the world. And this photo is from the men's 4x100 meter relay of Rio Olympics. The center is again Usain Bolt, Jamaican team. Everybody knows here the gold medal was to Jamaica. But only few people knows that what Japanese team achieved in the same race. His Japanese team actually Japanese with a silver medal and run faster than USA team. In Japan, there were no sub 10-second runner. We do not have fast runner. On the other hand, USA, all members were under 10 seconds. They are very fast. But how to beat the USA team? It seems impossible because they are faster. If we compare one by one, they are by far faster than Japanese. But as a team, Japanese are faster than USA. It is strange. I think, but it was same as process racing. We are stronger than when we fight as an individual. Japanese team found some point to squeeze a time. It was the point to hand over the baton, because when we hand over the baton, both runners should adjust their speed, but how to not to lose the speed. This is the point. And Japanese team skilled up that point by joint training based on joint responsibility. Of course, I don't think that they live together 300 days. I can say finally, so we saw several examples of both positive and negative, but joint responsibility can improve the team's productivity, even if there is no talented member in the team. We always want to work with a talented staff. Of course, it's easiest way to be successful. However, it is not always possible. According to my experience, most of us are not highly talented or are not highly innovative, unfortunately. However, in actual business, we should be more and more productive than before, than competitors, even if we are not talented. Can we be productive or innovative even without talented staff? I have to say yes. We have to be. I don't say we can. I have to say yes. Otherwise, we'll be kicked out from the market soon. That's why we have to be competitive. Then, when a team becomes like one body, it can achieve something better than what excellent talent or excellent staff can bring to the team. A good team can achieve more. For Japanese, joint responsibility can be an important bonding material to make a team one. Then, what is for Polish? My my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okada. I don't agree with you that what you started with, that this presentation is not academic and therefore we cannot learn anything from it. Oh yes, we can. Thank you very much. I only do regret that you leave us with this question mark.
No. What I want to say is, without Lewandowski, can Polish team strong? This is my question. I
don't like you leave us with this question. Still, because are there any questions?
Yeah, please.
Are there any questions? Yes, please.
According to what you said, it was and it is very easy to increase productivity using that way of Japanese companies. You had the chance to spend a while managing ITOCHU Corporation in Buenos Aires. That means in totally or at least different environment. And was it possible for you to apply some rules you told us about today in that different environment? Probably you used to work not only with Japanese, but you employed, or your corporation employed, also Argentinians. So was it difficult to use those rules and to increase productivity in, like you showed us, even in 4 years it was possible to turn from the failure to success? We would like to learn about it, especially that we have the representatives of many countries in that conference room. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I spent 5 years here, and thereafter, now I spent 2 years there, and before that, I spent 4 years in Sri Lanka. Yeah, totally, how many years? 13 years in abroad, outside Japan. And if I compare Poland and Argentine. Argentine is a, let's say, pure Latin characteristic. Hybrid of Italian and Spanish, terrible. So, one thing, if I dare to say the difference between Polish and Spanish, Polish can be more patient. Yeah. I always, like in my office in Warsaw, like I had a lot of discussion. Sometimes I spoke in a loud voice, but there was no problem. I did the same in Buenos Aires. Yeah, when I say I spoke, I ordered to my staff in a loud voice. Half a year, maybe 1 month later, I don't know. There was a call from headquarters. Mr. Okada, you are doing power harassment. Yeah, you see, this is the difference. I'd say Argentine peoples, they want to develop themselves by, how can I say, by being praised. But, and it's my impression, but Polish people, maybe basically human beings are the same. But if we compare these two countries, nations, Polish people seems to me more patient to the difficulties. This is my impression. Does my answer, how can I say?
Thank you.
To you?
Oh, I'm not patient. I remember you had a question. Yes, please.
Yeah, I can agree with the presentation because we totally focus on the harmonization in the team, and it's one of our good characteristics maybe. But when I was talking with a friend from all over the world, I mean in Łódź universities also, I was sometimes told why you try to hide your idea, why you try to hide your opinions. But I didn't mean it. It's unconsciously I did it. But in such a situation, what kind of mindset we should have for the situation? I mean, internationally, with when I was, international student, what kind of mindset we should have? Like I try to protect harmonization is also, but try to express by myself is also. How can we combine two of them?
I don't combine. I adapt myself to the, how can I say, the country where I was sent. So I try to, but when I was in Sri Lanka, I had already given up. Japanese common sense does not suit to the, how can I say, suit to other countries. Yeah, but when some staff in the country wants to be promoted in our company, we are a Japanese company, so I request them to know about how the Japanese think. Yeah. But actually, I don't request my staff to, how can I say, to align themselves with the Japanese culture or Japanese style. It is impossible.
Thank you very much.
Please give me a simple question.
It's always simple, and actually, you just mentioned about to be proactive, and actually I know it, and actually generally for the Asian, and the culture is more collective, and like you mentioned about the team, and however, and do you think and the society divide you too much pressure? For example, and the society will have a higher standard for female, not male. And actually, I just searched the data, and for the suicide rate, and for male in Japan, it's very high, and the age is between 20 to 44. And there are three main reasons for that. First is unemployment. Second is the emotion, because they have huge pressure, depression, and the third is the society. And actually in Japanese culture, and it's like usually for the female, and they won't go to work after they get married. And they will have a higher standard for female. So it means for another side, and the society give too much pressure to male. And you just mentioned about the team, and you do think, and sometimes we can reach the goal, the final goal, but it means we have to waste individual rights and individual profits. So I want to know about your opinions about it.
Could you point out your question a bit simply?
Okay, the first is, you said to be proactive, and I agree with that. And I just mentioned about for Asian countries, for Asian cultures, and it's more collective, right? And also, but my question is the society for the first is the society standard for female is higher than male, and because and the second is, and do you think the society and the team give individual person too much pressure? Because I just searched the data, and for the suicide rate for male, and the age between 20 to 44 is very, very high. And there are three reasons for that. The first is unemployed. Second is because the pressure, and the third is the repression. Because and you just said to be proactive and to be a team, but to be a team, and we will reach the final goal. But it means we will waste individual rights, and we will cost individual rights and cost individual happiness. And so I want to know about your opinions. And also another question is, do you think the success is the only thing? Because for some respect, for some aspects, happiness or other things is more important than to be successful. So I want to know your opinion.
Sorry, maybe I couldn't get your point. Yeah, but as I told, I'm a business person. Yeah, I accept the conditions existing in the market, and then against the conditions, I can say, or based on the condition, I try to make profit. Yeah. So if there is a condition, I cannot change. I don't want to change. I just accept. Based on that, I start a business. This is my attitude, yeah, to the business. So even though in the countries there are so many differences, but my attitude is to Poland, in Sri Lanka, in Argentina, or even in Japan. What I will do is accept the situation exists there. Yeah, that's also, even though there are a lot of, how can I say, problems, first I will accept. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And I also have the last sentence. So it means if the society have a higher standard for female, and it's okay. You think it's okay?
Okay, let's talk later
Thank you.
after that. Okay.
Good discussion during lunch, perhaps.
We had a final question from this side of the table. I would like to make 2 remarks to this lecture I already heard. The first one is about this joint responsibility means solidarity for me. In my opinion, solidarity requires casualties. It happens. So on the individual level, it may be tragic, it may be, just a disaster for someone, for his family. But when the idea is promoted, when there is idea is a victory, it means that also these individuals contribute to the victory of the idea. So on the higher level, on the macroeconomic level maybe, this can be justified. On the microeconomic level, it cannot be justified. And the other remark, it is concerned with the way of doing business in Japan, and it is from my experience, what I've experienced already, and just in the context of differences between Polish and Japanese way of doing business. First difference, which is striking for me, it was striking for me, now I've got accustomed to it, is the period before you come into conclusion, into the agreement, whatever it means, is a very long period in Japan. So the negotiations, when you would like to conclude an agreement, are very exhausting, are very difficult, troublesome, and sometimes we Europeans can't stand it. It's too long for us. We do not understand. He said yes yesterday. Today we are beginning from the beginning. So it made me somewhat irritating. It was annoying for me at the beginning, but now I got accustomed to it, and I'm very happy with it, because I know that when the agreement is reached, I can enjoy a good realization of the project. So it's quite on the reverse, like in Poland. In Poland, very often we just come to the conclusion very quickly. Now we concluded the agreement, and when we start to implement, there are so many difficulties. We could have foreseen them, some years ago, some time ago. So this is the fundamental difference with Japanese and Polish side while deciding on some cooperation.
So the period before is longer in Japan than in Poland, but the period afterwards is shorter in Japan than in Poland. And I prefer the Japanese solution. And the second one, I would like to give such a remark that when everything is already gathered, it's just an understanding about what roles should be divided between the members, it's quite easier to foresee the task. That's all. Thank you.
One thing I would like to, I can say one thing about CSR. I'm the business person, I'm not a specialist in CSR, but for the, I can say, not specialist, I can say about CSR to understand easily. We have in Japanese one word we call sanpo-yoshi. San means three, po means direction of parties, yoshi means like good. Literally in English, triple win. Usually business is, let's say, win-win, or as a zero-sum or minus-sum, there are so many business. But we say, if business, if you want to business, how can I say, sustainable, three should be win. Three means buyer, seller, and society. If society does not allow this business is not sustainable. So please remember, business should be triple win. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.